Did enough to get a dub, which was great. Came out early and swung the bats outstanding. A lot of good contributors out of the bullpen today. Just talking to the boys, I think, part of this little stretch that we're on here with a lot of games in a short amount of days, we haven't had we aren't practicing much. We're just playing games, and I think a little bit of, at times mental fatigue is happening a little bit with just some uncharacteristically poor defensive plays. Offense that we come out and score a bunch, and then we just kind of mentally lose our approach a little bit. So those are things that we have to clean up. That was kind of the message after the game. Just to keep grinding mentally, more so than physically. We're making some mental mistakes that I'm not real wild about, but again, did enough to get a win tonight. Good bounce back by a couple guys. Eli Buxton, after a tough outing on Monday, coming back and having a great ninth inning there, and to allow us to give our back end bullpen a little bit of a rest. That was big. Finn Edwards threw it great. Colby Guy continues to establish himself as one of our main dudes out of that pen. Moose threw it okay, and we kicked it around behind him a little bit, which got ugly there that inning. But again, Josh Butler threw it great. Linder got us off to a decent start. Command still a little bit spotty, but all in all, had enough stuff to get us through three, and again, come out with a win, which was big.
Would you make a new Contreras' return? Didn't look like there was any rust to shake off there.
No, we kind of nice to have him back. So we toyed with we kind of pinch hit him this weekend at Kansas State, just to we knew he was getting close and itching to play, and we thought it was probably smart just to pinch hit him and get him in there a little bit at a time. We contemplated starting him on Monday in Vegas, but after the long flight, I didn't feel great about that, and he passed every test pregame. I'm like, well, we'll pinch hit you maybe in a DH spot where we can get multiple at bats, but I think we just got him one at bat, and he just missed a homer to center in Vegas. And today we knew we were going to play him 5 or 6 innings today, and see how many ABs we can get him through 5 or 6 innings, just to gradually try to keep ramping him back up. And I will say that new Contreras is not a lazy player. I just have given him orders to not run at full speed yet. And even though I think he can, otherwise he wouldn't be out there. I just err on the side of caution, trying to get him to make sure he's going 60 or 70% right now when he runs out of the box. And I said, you keep hitting the ball like that, you don't have to go any harder. So it's great to have his offense back in the lineup, and it really helps stretch that lineup out.
Obviously an explosive start to the game, 8 runs, you sent 12 to the plate, then it kind of cooled off. Did you notice any change in approach at the plate?
A little bit. Again, I just think that's a mental thing, with us. We jump out to a big lead, and we just kind of, hey, we're gonna put up 8 every inning, and it's gonna be easy. And it just, they change out pitchers every inning, and it's tough to get a gauge on them. But those are when you really got to lock in. And when they're bringing a new guy out of the pen every inning, you have to really focus in and stick to a disciplined plan and approach. And we got base runners, but we still, there was some chasing out of the zone. I think we struck out 9 times, which is a little too much for my liking. And those are things we got to clean up. So it's great to have the win, great to put another one in the column, but there are things that we have to really continue to drive home to these guys if we want to be the team that we want to be.
Going back to new, do you foresee kind of keeping them on this plan of kind of easing them back heading into this weekend?
We'll see how it goes. We'll see how he is tomorrow. See if there's any soreness. He said he felt great tonight after we took him out, and I'm assuming he's going to probably feel good tomorrow. We'll every intention of playing him on Friday and see where that goes. So, it would be, again, we'll play it day by day with him, but the main thing is we've got him back Jesse Lohman, our head trainer, has done a really good job getting him back in a much timelier fashion than I was anticipating. Again, our biggest thing is just to continue to make sure to be smart with him and hopefully no setbacks, but I'm not taking the aggressiveness away from him. That was pretty awesome to see him come back and swing the bat like that tonight.
you speak on, Landon's continued success? Obviously, it's got to be nice to have a guy like that atop your order.
Yeah, he's been outstanding. He just, it kind of goes unnoticed when he only has 2 hits, and a home run. It's like, oh, well, he walked twice as well. He was on base 4 times tonight, and he just continues to be a staple at the top of the lineup. He's a special kid, special player. He just continues to stick within himself, and I've said it time and time again, just the fact that he's a year more physical and more mature than he was last year. That ball in the 8th inning or 7th inning where the home run, and that's just a clear image of him just getting more physical. That's a double last year. That's a homer this year, and next year that thing's going to be on the street. So he just continues to progress and get better.
So kind of to add to that too, I know I've asked you before about him, but like just the patience. I mean, the way he's hitting. But you mentioned the 2 walks. Like, what's the biggest challenge for somebody? I mean, that's hitting like he is so dominant, just to stay patient and stick with the plan.
Well, I think that's one of the things that makes him a special hitter is that he's very disciplined. His plate discipline's off the charts. He doesn't chase off the plate very often. I mean, he'll get fooled like anybody at times, but he's very good at saying, "Oh, that was just off," and you go back and look the next day, I'm like, yeah, he's right. It was just off, and got called a strike, but it was just off. So his plate discipline and knowledge where he's at on the plate is really probably the thing that makes him, other than the special hands that he has, just makes him a complete hitter. It's just his overall plate discipline.
Nice bounce back tonight from Colin. What did you make of his appearance?
From who?
Colin.
From Linder? Yeah, it was good. Again, I'm critical. I think he threw the ball fine. We had a big careless error there with 2 outs in the 3rd that cost him about 25 more pitches and a run. Probably could have gotten 4 out of him at least, and that extended that inning to raise his pitch count up to 75 pitches or so. We make that play, he's out of the 3rd with probably 55 pitches, and now we can go maybe get him a 4th or even 4 plus. But those are where the mental costly errors. That wasn't a tough play. That was just a very routine, easy play that we booted there, and it's not the error, it's the how many pitches that are taxed to that guy after the error. I think they got a base hit and then or might have been a walk and then a base hit. We gave up a cheap run there. Those are things we can't do. If you're going to make an error on a tough play, okay, I get it. But that's just a routine, easy play that cost him potentially another inning. Was he overly sharp? Nah, I think he can be better. But bottom line, he did enough to get us off and rolling and have a decent start.
Kind of piggybacking off that, Easton had a great outing on Monday after his struggles early on in the season. With him and Linder, what kind of roles do you foresee with them moving forward? Do you think about maybe using them in the weekend again?
It's things are ever changing, I guess, and we evaluate every week kind of and see where we're at and who's throwing the ball the best and who fits into certain roles. I've said it before, your positions are rented and not owned. And you got to pay the rent every time you're out there. And if you fail to do that, a few times in a row, then another guy steps up. We're continuously changing roles and seeing where our guys are at. Again, I mentioned Colby Guy, the way he's been throwing the ball lately. He's getting a bigger role. Taylor Penn, the way he's throwing the ball, he's getting a bigger role. And so the way that Easton threw it, it was great to see him starting to progress to get back to form the way he's capable. We're going to need another left-handed arm on the weekend. Whether that's in a relief role or a back end role or a matchup role, or who knows, if he keeps chucking it great, maybe it ends up being a starting role. We're going to need more than 3 starters when this thing's all said and done. We're going to need more length and more starters.
For Easton, what was kind of the key of getting him back to where he was kind of at the end of last season? I know, early on it just felt like really didn't have it, but then Monday it looked like night and day different. Was it kind of a mental thing, a confidence thing?
I think maybe a little confidence thing. If you go back and look at his first 2 starts of the year where he walked a lot of guys, he was doing a really good job at jumping ahead and then just missing off the plate, and then got into situations where he had to throw a strike and missed, and then I think that just snowballed a little bit mentally on him. And obviously we preach trying to limit the free passes, and he's got a lot of them. That plays a little bit on the mental part of things, but he's done a really good job responding and rebounding and kind of settling things back in and getting back on track. So that's great for him. It's great for us. We're going to need him to keep progressing the way he has been and continue to keep getting better, because that kid's, he's got a great arm and knows how to pitch. It's just a matter of continuing to attack the zone and work ahead. We're going to need another, especially another left-handed arm.
Josh Butler picked up the win today, struck out 5 of the 8 batters that he faced. What did you like seeing out of him tonight?
JB did a good job keeping guys off balance. Threw a little bit with better conviction today from what I saw. The breaking stuff was good, and he started getting kind of that sink back a little bit on the fastball. That was encouraging. Again, understanding what type of pitcher he is and attacking with his strengths, I think, is going to be big for him moving forward. But that was, again, another step in the right direction from him.
With the last couple of games just being quite eventful and a big series looming this weekend, some may label tonight's game a trap game. What was your message before the game to your team?
Well, I think any type of a trap game was eliminated on the 8th inning on Monday. That was the trap, and we almost got bit, and that was probably one of the worst innings that I've been on the flip side of in a long time, where it's like, man, we were rolling, we were reeling, we could not get out of that inning. Things were snowballing. It just had that eerie Las Vegas feeling that something crazy's happening and this isn't good. And for us to come out of that with the win was huge. It wasn't pretty, but it was huge. But I think that was our wake-up call for there not being a trap tonight. Because we focused on that. Like, hey, you can never, your standards are your standards, regardless if you're down 10 or you're up 10 or you're up 1 or down 1. You have to come out and play consistently with the mental edge every time out there, regardless of the score. That doesn't matter. There's a standard to uphold, and whether from a team perspective and from an individual perspective. So we obviously talked about that after Monday's game, and told them today, hey, we don't play West Virginia today. We play New Mexico State, and you have to come out ready to play. These guys are capable of putting up big numbers and being in a dogfight with us. So come out, set the tone, which they did a great job of. Now it's finish. Continue to pile on and finish when you have the opportunity. So again, things we can improve upon and get better, but they got it done, and now we can turn the page and look forward to West Virginia.
For your offense facing 8 different arms today, how did you think that they did keep chipping away, facing seemingly somebody different every inning?
Well, again, it's not always easy. I don't care what kind of arms or what caliber arms you're seeing there. It's always going to be tricky when you only see a guy for one inning and then another guy. And they ran some decent arms out there too, that had some different stuff. Guys that had the fastball playing up, guys with big breaking balls, guys that pitch backwards. So for us to sit and kind of try to put a rally together off a new guy every inning, it was difficult, and it can be difficult. So again, we only put up 2 runs after the first, and we had to scratch those across. So those are one of the challenges of these midweek games. Is you have to. There's always crazy things that happen, and again, some programs like to do that, throw one guy every inning, and it makes it very challenging. So we did enough to scrap and battle and get a win, which is great. But continuing to stay disciplined to an approach is sometimes challenging with that. But again, it's what we're in. We're in their jobs to make it difficult on our hitters, which they did a good job after the first inning tonight.
Looking at the West Virginia series now, the Mountaineers haven't played. This will be their first ranked opponent they face this year after the CCU series. They made 8 for you guys this year. Do you think experience like that could factor into a series going on this weekend?
Maybe not. I don't know. I mean, you're going to have to beat good teams. You're going to have to beat teams with losing records that play great that day. It just they're a very well-coached team. They have a lot of talent on that team. We're going to have to come ready to play and play really good baseball because it's going to be a good weekend. Just looking a little bit at their pitching staff, they got guys that can really chuck it and are really good on the mound. They play lockdown defense. They can swing it. So they're a complete package. They're real, and we're going to have to come with our A game ready to play. But it'll be a great test for us. Again, to your point, that was part of the reason for scheduling, that week of 4 SEC teams, 5 games, was to challenge our guys and understand, okay, we're going to play good teams in conference that are going to be equally as good as these guys, and that hopefully prepared us. Win or loss, obviously we wanted a few more wins during that stretch, but hopefully that prepared us for what we're going to encounter. I certainly think it did for the first 2 weekend series against TCU, who's a great team, and Kansas State, I don't think they've lost a home series in a couple years, and to go there against that offensive club, man, that was good to take 2 or 3. Obviously, we laid an egg on Sunday, but to come out of there with 2 wins was big, and I think again those are all things that are preparing us for these weekends that are going to be tough and grueling, and we don't anticipate this being any different. They're a good, very good, well-coached team, so we got our work cut out for us.
Any update on Decline leaving the game?
No, I wanted to get Briggsy in there last 2 innings and keep him sharp. Going did just fine back there, and there wasn't any injury or anything. That was just me wanting to get Briggsy in there in the 8th and 9th and keep him sharp as well.
You said earlier that you might have had to refocus some players about the game today instead of West Virginia. Would you say the anticipation level for that series coming up amongst the players was pretty high?
To be perfectly honest, I don't think they were worried about West Virginia today. Now that this game is over, we certainly are. But this team is very good. So far, has been very good at just staying focused on the present and what we got today. They understand. We've talked about it at length on how these midweek games can screw up your season if you don't show up and be ready to play. It's done it in the past to us, and you see it every week. There's ranked teams that get beat by a team that I've never heard of, right? Respectfully, I'm like, who's that team? I've never heard of them, and they're beating a top 25 team every single week. So it's good learning material for these guys. That if you don't show up ready to play, you're going to stub your toe against these teams that are ready to play against you. You have to be ready on all of them. So now that this one's over and in the books, obviously we made it a point now that, okay, now we turn the page and we got to clean things up and sharpen up and be ready to go this weekend. Because it'll be, I imagine Muni will be hopefully packed. The fans tonight for a midweek game, huge attendance tonight, which was again awesome. But having, I think this weekend will be hopefully sold out or close to it, and be an intense weekend against a really good team.